This video has nothing to do with coffee. I just wanted to be like every other basic YouTuber for a second. So first thing we're doing this morning, we're wiping off the morning dew so it doesn't mess with our paint. We're screwing in the frame for the sides. So we laid this board down and screwed this board to it just temporarily from the underneath. That way it would hold where we want it, and then we're going to come onto this side and screw it through this way because we don't want the screws sticking out. We're using 1 5/8" screws so that it doesn't screw all the way through this 2x4. And that's an exterior deck screw. Okay, so he's finished screwing all around the outside, the frame to the plywood. Now I'm gonna go paint this while he does the other side the exact same way. So now he's using 3-inch long screws to screw these boards to these boards. You get it started and then you drop it down a little bit.
Yeah, that, because if you do it this angle, you're going to miss that entirely.
So he's got it. Now he's going to drop it down. To get it through.
Yep. Just to hold that.
Nice and sturdy. Okay, so this is going to be the cross beam. It's just going to match up at the low side of this corner, and we're going to screw it in from the outside, right?
Yes, all the way through.
We're going to screw it in from the outside, and that's going to be the peak of our roof. My lovely assistant holds the sides together. This is what it's looking like right now. So he just drew a line to match where this beam is, and that's where we're gonna put our board in between these two. And then he's gonna do the same thing on all 4 corners.
Come to the front.
Okay.
And take it that way.
The bottom?
We're trying to close this gap up. That looks pretty darn good to me. How's that?
Perfect.
You on the line?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Screw a little bit more. So when we put the backboard on, it's gonna stop it from wobbling back and forth like this. Now we're doing the same thing again on the other side. So just put the corners together and screw it in, right? So now in order to support the roof, we're going to put 2 cross beams, one at 17 inches and one at 34 inches. And that is just the same width board as the ones that we previously cut. 2 more. Okay, so now we've just kind of roughly measured this board into thirds, and that's where we're going to put our supports for our roof. Yeah. And our board is 44 inches. And then we're screwing it into each side. Support. Everybody needs to support sometimes. So now we're not even measuring this part. We're just laying the board down. You think it works like this? Marking it underneath. Just, yep, marking it just like that underneath. So then we're gonna cut that at those marks.
We need one here.
Perfection.
And another one just like it.
Sweet. So we're gonna cut out a notch for this 2x4 so that these boards fit well into and are supported by this 2x4. Right?
Yes.
And then there'll be a 2x4 underneath. And then it'll widen this gap for chickens to go through. So he's just marking where the 2x4 is and measuring the 2x4 and then drawing the line where he's gonna cut. Dang, I do that. But your 2x4 might vary, so measure your 2x4 and just cut that out.
We're gonna make that same cut on all 4 corners.
This is Rex. He's my biggest chicken. We're gonna test to see if he can go through the hole that we made. He won't fit. Wait, can he try to fit? That's the question. Come on, Rex. No. Well, let's see. Rex doesn't fit, so we're gonna have to make it bigger for him. But I think an average chicken, this would work for. He's just the biggest and huge.
T-Rex.
But for like an average chicken, especially silkies, they would be able to fit through this. But we're gonna have to widen the gap a little bit. So you're cheating and you're using the edge of a piece of 2x4 to cut it out. That's tricks of the trade.
I guess we can just mark these spots here for the edge of our board.
And that's where we'll put the cross member. Okay. Perfect. I didn't get good video of it, but he took his pencil and just marked where the end of the plywood would be, so that's where we knew we needed to put the end of the support beam to support the plywood. Okay, so now that we have these cut so that my rooster can fit through, we cut off another 1.5 inches off of each board, so another 3 inches of clearing. So now that 2x4 actually lays flush against this, so this has a lot of support on both sides. We're gonna screw that down.
Perfect.
Okay, so what we just did, we took the measuring tape and we squared it off. So we made sure that before we screw these bottoms down, we made sure that corner to corner they're about exactly the same. This is not going to be the front of our coop, but it is going to be where we can open it up to clean it out. The trick to this sort of slope is that you don't want the slope going into the center of your chicken yard because the water will flood your chicken yard. So that's going to be the front of the coop, which means the stairs are going to drop down from here, and then the front will just be completely closed off. But we'll have the nest boxes along that front on that side, and then on the back side we'll have all of the roosts, and then we'll be able to swing it open from here, clean out underneath the roosts. Hey, pretty.
And an eighth.
47 and an eighth. That is for the roosts from board to board. This board to this board. Bam.
This piece out and screw it all together.
We're using this as the door frame. It's just a piece of what came off of a Can-Am off-road, what, four-wheeler? Whatever.
I'm not sure, to be honest. Yes, not four-wheeler. Yeah, I guess it is.
Little dirt bike.
Can-Am off-road.
Or something. So we're using this
as our
door frame. We're cutting the bottom off. We're taking that board, putting it here, and we're removing this door. And it just happened to work perfect. But again, if you don't find this size, you can just use a regular size pallet wood. This is the perfect dimensions for it. You would just do it inside of the space that we already had. It was about this point in the day when I started to get super tired from the sun in February. You're gonna start seeing a lot more of me now because I stopped explaining things. So basically what I meant was you would just take the dimensions of that piece of plywood and outline it with your pallet wood. You take the width of your plywood, which was 48 inches, and then go ahead and just screw that top piece and the bottom piece in. They're 48 inches. And then measure in between those two. Cut that. And then screw those sides in. And maybe do a cross beam if you feel like it. But yeah, it's that simple.
It's chicken coop building season.
It's chicken coop building season!
I'm dying over here.
Did you get that on tape?
Yes.
Here.
But it's easy. You can do it too. She's a bear.
Here's a trick of the trade. Don't use your nice wire cutters.
Mamma mia!
We screwed the door up so that we could put the hinges on the side, and then we're going to unscrew it to open it. We paused this instructional video to catch goat. Oh, goat. Naughty girl. These are interior hinges, but it's what we had, so we're using it. We're going to replace it at some point. Or don't. Whatever floats your Titanic. We added a third hinge just for strength, and we had extra. So now that we have the door in place, we have the roof laid where we want, we just have it laid up there. Now we're getting the 2x4s that we're going to run across this, that we're going to set the laying boxes on. And like all good construction workers, we take longer than we say we're going to.
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
While my dad works on the other thing, I'm going to work on the steps, which I'm just going to take these 1x3s that we got from some pallets, and I'm going to cut them to go sideways across the 2x4s that I already have in there.
2 weeks.
And I'm just going to make some steps for those 2x4s so the chickens don't slip on the way up. Two random pieces of 2x4 that we're going to use, and I just cut up these 8 inches. Now I'm just going to space these out and screw them down. It's 13 inches in between the piece of wood below the milk crate and above the milk crate.
13 inches in between the 2 cross members.
So we're using this board, which I cut to 13 inches to hold it up while I screw it in place. Boom! This part's not an exact science, so I'm just going to screw these little pieces down. So now we use 2 repurposed door hinges to attach our small ladder made from 2x4s, and there was a bit of a gap because we used shorter 2x4s, so we just filled this space with another 2x4, and that will give us room for underneath, where when this comes up, we'll have a piece that swivels into place to hold it up at night. My parents went home. They had something they had to go to, but we quickly screwed in all of the boards and then screwed in the places for the chickens to sit. I probably will get complaints about that this is not flat for their chicken feet, but this was what we had available to us for today. So we got this done. If we need to, we're going to come back and we can cut out a notch for this to lay flat so that their little chicken feet don't get arthritis, because y'all treat your chickens so nice. This genius, we still haven't put in a latch for that or the door. The door swings open all the way so you can scratch all of the chicken poop out. Probably didn't think about how the chicken poop would land on these, but once I paint those, and then I can just spray them down with a water hose. I gotta paint, and then we'll see where we are from there. Screwed on the top, screwed on the back. We decided not to put the laying box in because I have a small laying box I can put in the corner over here and over there. Sorry I'm a little less energetic, but we're extremely tired. It was a very hot day. It was 90 in February here in Southeast Georgia, so we're extremely tired, but I'm going to finish painting and then I'm going to edit this video so I can get it to you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was fairly easy, but I would like to say it's going to take more than 2 days. We stressed to get it done in 2 days, but here's some final footage of the coop. Boy, we have. And I was so close.
It probably fit, but
He
I'm
doesn't
not
want
sure.
to.
Yeah, well, he's like, what the heck is going on?
His shoulders won't fit.
Yeah.
Give the pencil.
$500,000 operation running around here on one pencil.